Love Hurts playing on that Troll Warlord. We have XYZ on that Darkseer. We do have Victory on that Rubik. Dota King is on the Tiny going into the top lane. And Fatty is on the Venomancer.
So we do have 5 men from Hive Doors walking down bottom, see if they can catch anyone out, but XYZ, he's just going to be sitting behind that tier 2 tower, just going to be throwing out those iron shells, do a little bit of harassment in this jungle, and it's going to make it a little bit harder for this Chen, especially with that Darkseer. He can just absorb that XP and then come in for those last hits, or even if you have a melee creep, throw an iron shell onto that melee creep, and then Chen just can't even get in there to get any farms, so Chen might have a hard time if they don't try and harass this Darkseer out, but it shouldn't be too bad for Hive Dwellers.
Yeah, I mean, this should... Hive Dwellers, currently it looks like they're going to be fine in terms of laning. They still haven't quite revealed what they're going to go. I mean, it seems to me that Endless Winter is just going to go in the offlane by himself, which is sort of the standard old school. Nice de-warding there as well by Firestarter, also known as Risk. You also do get that extra 50 gold, which is also nice for supports. But yeah, looks like they're just going to put two heroes in the bottom lane, and that Chen's going to be in the jungle, picking up some creeps. Maybe he might even go for an early first blood if he picks up a troll or something, so he can land his net. And Endless, of course, is just going to be in the offlane by himself.
We have 2 heroes mid for Shooting Star trying to keep this Night Stalker out, keep him down a little bit. He did get slightly pulled from his supports. He got a tango per support each. So he's going for that very, very fast bottle. He'll have that in 1 creep kill if he can get that creep kill. He can just wait 10 more seconds and he'll come to him eventually on that courier. Up at the top lane, you have Venomancer and that Tiny up against Endless. This could hurt quite a lot. If one Gale comes off with a stun followed up by Tiny, if it hits as soon as she hits that Windrun's going to pop off, then they'll be able to catch back up to it and the kill. And as I say that, Gale's going to come out. She's going to do a little bit of damage. At level 1, the Gale does not do any damage anymore, so it's not going to do too much to Endless. But it's just going to be a little harassment to keep Endless off that lane, but it still looks like Endless doesn't care. It's just going to keep harassing them back down.
Yeah, Venomancer still relatively squishy early on. Have to be careful with how aggressive you do get. Yeah, Shaitan so far, he's just in this mid lane. He's using there's 2 heroes, so it's going to be a little bit tough for him to get last hits in the melee range. But he's using his Void to get those last hits when possible, and also just a little bit of harass damage. Despite that, I mean, he's still sitting relatively well, up against 2 heroes, sitting at 5 for 0, which isn't too bad. He has obviously been harassed here from both Victory and Love Hurts, yet he's still getting some last hits.
And I can't see Shooting Stars getting a kill onto Shaitan in this mid lane. He's playing too defensively, just being able to sit behind him. All it does at the moment is kind of delay Love Hurts' XP, and he's going to fall a little bit further behind. But then if you can get that Rubik up to level 6, it's going to be quite useful. And I'd like to see this Venomancer up at the top lane. Maybe start trying to do a little bit of stacks or get this creep camp going. Get some XP in. Sure, Windrunner can come around and absorb some XP, but your Tiny then gets a little bit more XP into that mid by himself, and he needs to hit level 8 as soon as possible. Once he has those two skills maxed, his toss and that Stagmites, then he does a lot of damage in short amount of time. So I'd like to see that Venomancer start stacking, but it seems like he's content to sit in this lane and try and harass Endless now.
Yeah, and we actually quite interesting Risk or Firestarter. He's actually in this jungle. He's not going into the lane with the Luna. So he's actually just sharing some experience here with Lippy, who's playing under the name of Dark Armored Dragon. On that Chen, and looks like they're going to go for a roam. The smoke's up. We're going to mid or the top lane. Looks
I
like
think Shooting Stars will be in a little bit of trouble here. It's still not nighttime, so if this smoke does pop, they'll instantly be able to recognize. Will they be able to react in time? They're going to sit. There comes the Void coming out. There goes the Impale. And onto 2 hits. Minor Burn. That is first blood going to the Chen. And that Centaur. They might find the kill. They will find the kill. And Chen, he picks up a double kill. And he's got 1,500 gold. That's a very fast mech timing coming up soon. And at the same time, top lane, there's a trade. There's a Windrunner for a Tiny, and only Fatty just gets on out of there. So, Endless playing quite well on this Windrunner.
Yeah, I mean, that was... He almost got the double kill there, but Fatty was able to finish him off before that happened. well played there. I mean, they got the first blood double kill in mid. That certainly helps Shaitan a lot as well, as obviously he was being harassed, he was being denied a little bit, but that extra gold helps him quite a bit. And also just helps in terms of levels as well. He's almost level 6 at the 4-minute mark. It is first night now. It also helps, you know, Risk and particularly Dark Arm Dragon. As you were saying, yeah, that's a lot of gold, and that's certainly going to help him get that quick mech.
And now Shaitan, he's sitting down a little bit below here. He wants to go back in, but he's not going to. I mean, it probably wouldn't be worthwhile yet, but he does have those supports rotating under that nighttime cover. They're just going to wait around. They're going to wait for those two heroes of Shooting Stars to make a move into that river. They touch it, they will fall. They will die once again. So Shaitan just trying to hold that creep equilibrium just into that river. And instead, we have them rotating up to top lane. Chen might walk past and pick up Arcane Boot, so he's not going to go for that fast mechanism. He's going to go for that mana, which is going to be quite useful. He didn't unfortunately pop it off next to that next assassin. They are grouping up as 3, so mana for all, and now they're going to go for that top lane. They're going to go find a kill. Can Dota King and Fatty be able to counter initiate? Can they turn this around? We will see that first auto attack. Stagnart's come down. There goes the toss. It did not land onto any of those heroes. Dota King gets netted up. Shackled. He will fall from that power shot. And now Fatty. He's in a lot of trouble. Can they chase him back down? They do not have any disables currently available. We do have that carapace being popped off to try and stun Fatty. It's not going to be enough, but they will find that kill on the Tiny, and that's going to set Shooting Stars back even further.
Yeah, I mean, if we compare the Tiny and the Luna, I mean, they're both sitting on equal last hits, but the Tiny has died twice now, which certainly hurts a lot. In the bottom lane here, we do have Get Lost playing on, or also known as Fernando in this game, playing on that Luna. And he's just getting his farm up. He does have his level 6.
He's actually going to dive on Fernando. Fernando's going to pop that Eclipse. Will the Eclipse be enough? It will not be enough. Nice play coming out by XYC. Saw the advantage, came in, and then finished it off. There was not too much Luna could have to do. Had a Tango, and that was it. And she got a little bit greedy because she wanted those creep kills. In the end, it's not going to work. Great Shackle coming up on top lane from Annis. The Gale comes out. They do get that Troll Trap. Impale comes out. Hellbear's trying to get that clap. He does get the clap, and the final auto attack comes from that carry Chen. 3-0-1. Fantastic plays. And Marco coming out by Dark Armed Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, them just denying this Tiny is going to set the pace for the rest of the game, really. A Tiny, you really want him to get as farmed as possible. You want him to create those early kills just because he can dish out so much damage, you know, with his toss and with his avalanche. So just denying him so much, both experience and gold there, just keeping him back. He's only level 4 so far in, you know, almost 7 minutes. In fact, the Venomancer is out-leveling him. That hurts the side of Shooting Star here quite a lot. And it looks like Shaitan might actually want to go in here on Love Hurts. He's sitting behind the tower.
And there we go, Shaitan's going to come flying on, and he gets off that void. He just needs a few auto attacks, and he will fall. Carry Chen comes in to take that kill, and this should be a little bit of chip damage to that mid tier 2 tower. I don't think they'll be able to get it down anytime soon, though. There are no creeps currently en route. Oh wait, actually, now that I say that, there are some creeps there. So when I'm on about the up top lane, the Vow has got off at Endless. He does get hit by that avalanche. Toss comes through, few more auto attacks, and that is a kill going the way of Shooting Stars for Dota King.
Yeah, and that's sort of what they need. They really need Dota King to start getting those kills. He needs that extra goal, he needs those extra levels. But, you know, currently, Hive Dolls, they're very active around the map. They've already, you know, ganking pretty much all the lanes except for bottom here. They've pretty much just ignored XYZ and let him go toe-to-toe here with Fernando.
And we have these two supports. They're looking to wrap around. Sorry about that. Dark Armed Dragon is coming in with those creeps. They're going to come in. Will they be able to get the Void off? No, but the Impale does hit. There's the Void. And the Mana Burn just to finish him off. That just shows how squishy Troll Warlord is against these heroes at the moment. There's not much you can do. Unfortunately, there was no TP support. Even if they were, they probably would have found themselves picked off. But there's just fantastic rotation coming out from Hive Dwellers at the moment. They're just all around the map, finding kills in every possible location, keeping Shooting Stars on the back foot.
Yeah, and this is, I was just gonna say, yeah, they've sort of been ignoring XYZ here in the bottom lane mostly, but that is fine. I mean, Fernando on the Luna, in fact, they are going to go on him, he's taking a ton of damage, Pop the Eclipse. Oh, it's a bit of the range.
Now they're going to continue chasing him down. He does have a surge up in 3 seconds. The Troll Ward doesn't have another trap for 10. He should be able to surge his way out of it. No, he gets hit by the Lucent Beam. Final all attack. Can the creeps find it? No, they cannot. He's still on the run. Chen get it off. He is so close, but the Mana Burn comes through, and the Nyx Assassin will pick up his 3rd kill of the game. These supports on Hive Dwellers, they're just rolling in the cash at the moment.
Yeah, and currently Risk.
Oh, in mid lane we have Shaitan chasing down Love's Hurt. He's going to throw out that void, auto attack, and then he finds his 1st kill of the game. And once again, Troll Ward dies. He's 0 for 4. Shooting Stars really need to get a little bit of rotation to come help him out.
Yeah, they're really just babysitting the Tiny here. It sort of hasn't really been helping too much earlier on because he was still getting picked off, but just currently we've got Risk on this Nyx Assassin. He's level 6, he's got his Vendetta, he can just freely start roaming around. There isn't all that many sentries in key places at the moment from Shooting Star. You know, they don't have any sentries in lane or anything like that to sort of get that preemptive knowledge that Risk is incoming. They only have 1 Observer Ward up on the field as well. In fact, they're going in here on Endless. Does get stunned up, and it looks like he's going to fall here to the gank from Victory, Fatty, and Dota King. They were in bottom lane. Hive Dwellers will pick up a kill for themselves. Fernando on that Luna.
Sorry about that.
Off the darks, yeah.
I was choking on water as I was having a little breather, and I just couldn't get back in time. And then Vendetta comes out on top. Tiny does get hit. He will try and pop out that Impale. Mana Burn not quite near. The Void comes out and they will pop off. That Night Stalker is still chasing down Victory. Victory, he's on the run. He does have a Spike Carapace if he needs to use it. Void is currently up. If he sees that animation, he does cast that Carapace. He's trying to turn around. Fatty, he's taking a look. Buyback comes from that Tiny. Tiny's not going to be able to get back in time. XYZ is here. They're trying to help out Victory. Vacuuming gets pulled back, but he does get that final auto attack. And they find 2 kills on top lane, and your important Shaitan, he does get on out of here.
Yeah, Shaitan doing so well in this game so far. What's he sitting on at the moment? It's 305, so he's got a few assists to his name and a few kills. That's quite good for your mid laner at the first 11-minute mark. He's got some decent items. He's also got some decent gold, and they're trying to make a play on Love Hurts now.
Tried to make a play. They're still going in for that play. They're going to start auto-attacking him down. They switch positions, and oh, that's the end of that. That was a little strange. One second, the Radiant heroes were in that jungle. Next thing, they're both running away. A little bit surprised they didn't want to continue chasing down Love Hurts. They would have had more than enough damage to be able to burst him down, but they're just going to play it safe. Bottom tower's going to go down. Fernando, he's chasing down this Venomancer. Venomancer Fatty, he's trying to juke around the trees. It's not going to work. Fade Bolt comes out by Victory, just not going to be enough.
Yeah, and for a second there, it looked like he might have even gotten away. I mean, he sort of juked around the trees. The Eclipse, I don't think it hit him at all. In top lane, there is a kill on Risk there, and they also get a tower, so not too bad there from Shooting Star. They did get a top tower for a bottom tower and also a kill there, so pretty much trading 1 for 1. But yeah, in that bottom lane, Fatty almost getting away.
And the good news is, XYZ, he does have that mechanism now up on Darkseer. It'll be coming to him through that courier very shortly. And Chen's progress, never mind, he's already got that mechanism up. He's had it up for a while, it's even on cooldown. So they've got very strong pushing potential at the moment. Both sides will start to go into these long drawn out fights because that mechanism does help. Chen does have that Hand of God to even further that ability in these long sustained engagements. And when it comes down to these long sustained engagements, who do you think has the better opportunity to take the fight? Shooting Stars or Hive Dwellers?
I think Hive Dwellers probably has the advantage at the moment. They have quite a lot of lockdown as well. You've got your Nyx Assassin who can pay a good Shackle Shot, can lock down 2 heroes or even just 1 hero for quite a while. You've got the silence from Night Stalker, just the pure damage coming out here from Luna, but also just the heals from Chen. It's going to be really tough here for Shooting Star to finish him quite quickly, which you sort of need to do when you're facing that lineup. I mean, if you're a long time in that fight, the Night Stalker and the Luna can just deal so much damage to they have the Rubik for Shooting Star, and they of course have that Darkseer, which can, of course, turn team fights and create some massive plays, especially if Rubik can steal a few good items. And that Troll Warlord as well with the Battletrans Tiny. It's all going to depend on engagements from both sides here. If Hive Dwellers overextend a little bit when they're, not in the greatest of positions, Shooting Star can certainly capitalize on a few kills and start turning this. Start turning this around. They are of course on the back foot currently, 5k gold and about 7.5k experience, but it certainly isn't over. And once the team fights start to come around, it's really going to show which team has the better coordination and positioning.
And they're going to pop that battle trench. There's a TP coming in from a Windrunner, just trying to defend the tower as much as possible. They also have that next assassin here. They're looking to go on XYZ. XYZ's been really aggressive. We have the TP support coming in from that Void. Void's going to get hit by the Eclipse that was stolen. Victory then picks up the ultimate from that Night Stalker and we'll pop that off. Vacuum comes in into the Avalanche toss. That's one hero down. They're still chasing the other two heroes. And Shooting Star, they're still able to manage to get on out of here. The mechanism has been popped, they're going to back, they pick up a kill, and they're going to be able to retreat after getting that tower. So nice engagement coming out by Shooting Stars.
Yeah, that was actually a great engagement there. Victory there apparently extending the darkness there for Night Stalker. But that was an excellent engagement by Shooting Star. The vacuum to a tiny toss and stun was excellent. However, XYZ might get caught out here.
And they're going to go on him. He's going to pop the Eclipse, and they will find XYZ into that jungle. He should have backed. He was low on health. They don't have too much vision on the map. They have a little vision down bottom. Saying that, though, $5, they've currently got no vision on the map themselves, and Love hurts. He's going to try and go in. They've got Dota King. Dota King does get net up. He throws that Centaur. One more auto attack. They will find that Shen. And they're going to pick off these few Centaur creeps. Centaur and that Ursa for a little bit of gold going the way of Shooting Stars. Anything they can find. And Fernando, he's looking to come back on here. He throws out that Lucid Beam. He gets tossed up. He gets hit by the Gale. One more auto attack. They're not going to be able to find it before he falls. So that's currently the Tiny down. There's the Luna and Shaitan. He wants to find something nice. Impale onto two heroes. Minor Burn, Vendetta. Love Hurts is going to try and throw out these axes. He will fall. That is 4 heroes dead for Shooting Stars and Hive Dwellers. They capitalize on a situation by sandwiching Shooting Stars in their jungle.
Yeah, for a second it looked like Shooting Stars was certainly going to come out on top of that. Lippy on that Chen, he fell very quickly, but just the backup from Risk, Shaitan, Endless and all that, they just came in and started really turning around the fight, and that's quite important. Will they go for Rush Honey? No, they're not. Okay. For a second I thought they might have moved into the Rush Pit. They were sort of heading down there, but nope, they're just going to sort of split up a little bit, go back, and Shaitan's going to pick up this double damage rune. But currently Hive Dwellers, I mean, you know, that engagement in mid from Shooting Star was great. They picked up a tower, they got 3 kills.
Shaitan's going to come in. He just throws out that Void. He's not actually going to do too much. He just wants that little bit of Void as he runs past at 520 move speed. So he's almost haste movement speed at night time at the moment. And that's a little scary. There's no way to be able to run from him if he comes on you.
There's just no running from the Night Stalker. Apparently some items being bought, but I can't actually see it because it's sort of cut off on the side of the screen. But yeah, I mean, this currently Hive Dwellers, they've they've had some good ganking engagements, but it seems like when those team fights come, Shooting Star have so far really.
Dota King runs in, he misses that avalanche, he misses the toss, the Venomancer's Gale is going to not hit on anyone as well. Vendetta, Victory just bursts from that Void, and that Impale coming out, and they'll find an easy kill on Victory, and now they're going to be pushing this tier 2 tower.
Yeah, we see a Necromonicon coming out here from Night Stalker, so this really shows that they really want to go for that push. It also, once they have the level 3, will also help them de-ward any sentries in lane or any observers that they might spot out. And Hive Dwellers, they just want to keep going here. They do have a lot of those Chen creeps.
And those poor Plague Wards, they're just going to get decimated. I'm a little bit surprised that not Lucent Beam, but the Glaives do not bounce. Vacuum gets pulled into the Avalanche and only lands a Shaitan. The Gale will miss. There goes the Blink coming in from SS. He lands on Love Hurts. The Eclipse is popped off. They're bursting down heroes. That's 2 heroes currently dead, and that's a double kill going the way of Fernando. And they're going to continue this push by the looks of it. They're not afraid. They're happy to keep going uphill. They've got more than enough time.
Well, they still have Chen's ultimate, the Hand of God, and they the mech is on cooldown. They did pop it, but it's going to be off cooldown in 25 seconds. So they certainly can still.
And there's a
try
vacuum
to
and an
get
avalanche into that toss. One hero will go down, and now that should force Hive Dwellers to start to back off. Now they've lost their Chen, they've lost that big heals coming out from him, and they're a little bit damaged. So they're going to rotate out. Do you think they'll go for that Roshan? Don't think they quite will.
It would be a little bit risky if they tried to go.
And actually, Dota King, he's looking for a kill at the same time. Shaitan is going to be finding himself a kill. Dota King does pick up the kill on the Luna. Luna dies next to his Ancient Kensei. Power comes out onto XYZ. He gets shackled. He will get picked off by that next assassin. And Shaitan, he's still chasing down Fatty, but that Tiny, he's still in the backlines, but he doesn't want to come in yet. He's very, very hesitant, and this could cost him a little bit of the team. Shaitan does eventually fall to the initiation of Shooting Stars' backup and support. The avalanche comes out. They're still trying to chase down Endless. He wasn't in range for that toss. In the meanwhile, that next assassin did end on getting the TP on out of there before Shooting Star could find out where he went. So they do capitalize on picking off those two carry heroes, and now they're going to find another tier 1 tower for themselves. And this is what Shooting Stars need. And actually, they're still going to try and find a kill. Endless, he gets picked up. He pops that wind run. Will he be able to get away? He does try and get a shackle. Unreasonable shackle onto that tree. Impale comes out onto 3 heroes. There goes the power shot. It only hits on Love Hurts. And now the avalanche is going to come out and toss into the air. One more auto tick. He's not going to be able to find it because that power up is popped. He's got that blink up in a few seconds. The Hand of God is popped. They're going to turn back around. TP support's coming in from that Luna. They're going to start to try and sandwich him. Fernando, he doesn't get hit by that Gale. He gets picked up in the air. He's going to get thrown with the axes. Nice shackle coming down to that Dota King to the left ship onto the tree. But they don't have the damage at the moment. Even Chen's trying to throw out whatever they can. They do eventually find out that Tiny. And Shaitan will manage to find a kill onto Love Hurts as well. Now they're going to chase down the rest of the Shooting Stars team. TP comes out by Venomancer to get on out of there. But they lost 2 heroes in trade for a tier 1 tower. If they just went for that tier 1 tower, they would have been able to fight it off quite easily. Instead, they got greedy, they went for kills, and they got capitalized upon.
Yeah, I mean, they did get a tier 1 tower. They did lose 2, and that engagement at their own tier 3, it was a wonderful defense. The vacuum into the stun and toss from Tiny, but yeah, a little bit over aggressive now. It's Hive Dwellers who are going to go for Roshan, and once they have this Roshan, they can certainly be even more aggressive. They can probably finish off those other tier 2 towers, potentially try to go for that tier 3 again in the bottom lane. But that was a great turnaround. For a second there, it looked like Endless was in a lot of trouble. But then the teleports coming in from Hive Dwellers really turned that fight around.
Miguel lands onto Shaitan. Shaitan's going to be walking away. Love Hurts throws it in the axe, but they're just going to force Shooting Stars out of the clips. It's popped. It will burst down that Darkstone. Completely out of position. They no longer have a mech in this fight. Fernando is taking a lot of damage. Will he fall? He does not quite yet fall. He does fall. The buyback is popped by XYZ. He wants to get back into this fight. He wants to get some heals going. And at the same time, Fernando, he says, if you buy back, I'm buying back. We're not letting you get this Roshan. We've taken it down so far. We're not letting it go down any further. And Hive Dwellers, they're going to be pushing in a little bit aggressive here. Shooting Stars are just waiting for that single move for Hive Dwellers. The creeps, Necronomicon creeps, will walk up that hill, spot out where the heroes of Shooting Star are, do a little bit of Martyr Burn, and continue up with that vision on that warrior.
Yeah, these creeps are just really pushing Shooting Star back, particularly Victory. He really has to get back now and take quite a bit of damage.
Poor Victory. Poor Victory. And now we have the buyback from Victory. Not Shaitan. Endless gets a fantastic shackle. And the avalanche, it only lands onto 1. That's not what you want in this kind of engagement. Vacuum, wall, but they don't have any follow-up. You do have a steal of the crippling fear coming out from Victory. It's just going to force them a little bit back with that Fade Bolt and to get away from that wall. But that avalanche, it was popped prematurely, only hit 1 hero. Fantastic vacuum and wall combination. If there was an avalanche on top of that, they could have found multiple kills. However, they're going to try and get onto this Roshan. They see Shaitan, he's been caught out. He gets tossed up in the air. Nice Hand of God, keeping Shaitan away. It kept him alive. If that Hand of God wasn't there, he would have easily popped. Now, Endless, he's throwing out that Shackle. Shackle's not going to miss because XYZ, fantastically enough, did avoid latching onto another hero. And power comes out. The axes are trying to slow down the push in from Hive Dwellers, and this is just an extended engagement around this Roshan pit. Neither side wants to give it up. Shaitan, he doesn't care about Emma. He's coming in, he's going to throw out that void. He's still running around at haste speed, purely because he does have a haste, which is ironic enough. And now Shaitan, he's still walking, he's trying to find whatever he can. Those Necronomicon creeps are up and running. They're trying to find that Tiny who has got that Shadow Blade up and running. And they're all rotating behind this tower. And at the same time, Shooting Star, they've given up. Avalanche comes out. They're going to find this Shen. One more auto attack. He pops that mechanism. I don't think they'll be able to fight anymore. And Dota King has to retreat. They have no clue where the rest of Hive Dwellers are at the moment. Hive Dwellers, they're in a unique location. They're coming in from where Shooting Star should be coming in. And now another fight. Oh, getting close to another fight at Roshan Pit. Dota King has been revealed from this Necronomicon crate. We have the parachute coming through. Darksteel will fall once again. Shackle lands onto 2. Fanny's going to start falling very fast from these Necronomicon crates. Love Hurts is doing a lot of damage. But where's this Tiny? Tiny is nowhere to be seen. He's just ran off in the backgrounds. He doesn't want to help at all. Love Hurts, he's trying to get out of it. He gets hit by the cliffs. And that's 4 heroes down with the Tiny running away. That's strange. He should have been in there trying to help out his team. Instead, he ran. So I guess he survived.
Well, he was sitting on half health. He had no mana to actually pop anything. His arcane boots were on cooldown. At the very least, he survived. I mean, if he was there, he sure could have done a lot of right-click damage. But considering how high in terms of health the side of Hive Dwellers are at the moment, I don't think it probably would have mattered too much. If you had much more mana, then definitely you should have been in there. An avalanche and a toss certainly would have helped. But now Hive Dwellers, they've taken that tier 2 and they're going for this Roshan. And that was a very extended fight. Some amazing plays there from both sides, and I gotta say, endless with these shackle shots. In that bottom lane, when he shackled, I believe it was Victory to that tower. It's like impossible angle. And also in that fight as well, shackling 2 heroes. We spoke before about how a good shackle shot just locks down 2 heroes for such a long time, and you can really see the effects that it has in team fights. But both sides trading quite a bit there. Eventually Hive Dwellers came out on top. There was a lot of running around. They ran from Rush Pit into the mid lane, into the dire jungle. Very extended engagement.
Yeah. And the farm so far on the map, it's all in favour of Hive Dwellers. Night Stalker, it's got 11,800 gold. Luna, not too far behind. Windrunner, it's even 9k herself. Then there's the Tiny. Tiny, he's not having the best at the moment. He just hasn't been able to find that farm. I mean, he is a fast flash farmer, but he picked up the Shadowblade, hoping it would do a lot. But a very nice choice coming out by Shaitan. Went for the Necronochromes. He's got level 3, so they have that revelation. And it's fantastic to be able to spot any movements, be able to counter ward, and just keep constant pressure up and running. And not to mention, as we saw earlier, the Necronomicons, they just take down this Rubik. Victory, he can't do too much about it. He just has to run for his life, and they just catch up and still try and take down that poor Rubik. But a fantastic item choice coming up by Shaitan, being able to shut down his Tiny. It makes you think, do you think it would have been worth it if he went for the usual Aghanim Scepter first, or do you still think the Shadowblade has been effective enough this game? Or even a Yasha, I should say.
It was yeah, it was. It was pretty effective when he first picked it up. Obviously now it's dropped off a lot. Endless also has a level, actually no, it's a level 2 Necromonicon, but he will have that level 3 very soon. So, I mean, there's very little that Shadowblade is going to be doing for him now. It's basically going to get revealed every single time from those creeps. And with that extra Necromonicon, it's just, these guys are just going to keep pushing and pushing. It's going to be hard here it's going to get harder for Shooting Star to defend. But yeah, I don't know. I think that Aghanims probably could have helped in those team fights a little bit more as well. The AOE damage when you've already got a toss and an avalanche and a nice vacuum, as we've already seen so far, it certainly helps. You know, you've got quite a lot of heroes that can just keep them in place. You got your Venomancer who just slows and showing that they can't get away as quickly. Rubik, nice stuns can help with that. So I feel like that Aghanims probably would have been a better choice than the Shadowblade. Shadowblade was great initially. It actually did a decent amount, but now it really has started to fall off in the past about five-ish to, well, pretty much yeah, about the past 5 to 10 minutes.
So Love Hurts, he's trying to sit in this jungle, try and get as much farms as possible. He wants that BKB, he needs another 300 gold. He's trying desperately before Hive Dwellers push into this base. He's going to keep trying to do it. He might try and, if he shows his face down bottom, Hive Dwellers, they're just going to force themselves up this tier 3. He is going to TP back now, so he will be ready for this engagement. But he still doesn't have his BKB yet. In fact, that BKB, he's going to be hurting in these fights, especially with the damage coming out from Hive Dwellers. I mean, you have the Impale, you have the Power Shot, which doesn't seem to ever miss, and the Void and Lucent Beams coming flying from that Luna, so he needs that BKB. If he gets this BKB up, they're going to be able to stand these fights a lot longer than currently necessary, and it looks like Tiny, he's going for a BKB of his own.
Yeah, I feel like some of these BKBs are a little bit delayed. For example, Luna still hasn't picked up a BKB, and we've seen Luna just get locked down a lot in those engagements. Luna's basically just completely skipped it, has gone for Manta Style, has an Eagle Song, Morbid Mask, but yeah, those BKBs, when you've got so much lockdown on both sides, that's quite important. As you said, Tiny's going for it, he's still a little while off it, needs about 1k gold. It's, yeah, at the almost 30-minute mark, I would have liked to have seen at the very least 1 or 2 BKBs, particularly on those carries out by now. You can see how much stuns are going out in those team fights. Luna is, whenever his first target, pretty much gets picked off very, very quickly.
It looks like Hive, they're going to start bursting up this hill. They've got the haste. Good news is, Troll Ward, love hurts. He's got his BKB. He's going to be running this fight. They're just going to hold it off. Nice vacuum coming in. The avalanche only lands onto one, and then they creeps. They just get all healed back up, so they can continue this push. They're just going to completely decimate this tower. There's not much Shooting Stars can do about this right now, and we need to see an initiation coming out from them very shortly. They're going to lose a Rex. Fernando, he's standing around there. He's ready to jump back on there. His Manta Style is currently on cooldown. We see the Impale goes to land on Victory. Victory's not going to worry about too much. He still has an Impale himself, and those not Lucent Beams, those glaives are just bouncing through, doing a lot of damage. They pick off the towers, and they're just going to retreat. There's no reason to stay around any longer than have to. You fan your racks and then get the hell on out of there.
Yeah, I mean, Hive Dwellers, there was very little Shooting Star could really do there. We saw the vacuum, we saw the avalanche, but after that, the mech just got popped and Hive Dwellers just continued in there. We saw so many of these wards coming out from Venomancer as well, but when you've got so many creeps, both from the Chen and the 2 Necromonicons, you're gonna need a lot more wards to kill them all off, especially since these Chen creeps are so tanky. Of course those wards, they do help stop pushes, but looks like we might have an engagement here in the jungle.
And the smoke, it gets revealed. Love hurts. He's taking a lot of damage. And now, FS, he tries to get a stun through. It doesn't land. He gets completely burst down. The Eclipse is popped off. BKB is up and running. The Gale's going to do a little bit of damage. It's not going to do too much. Vacuum into the wall. Will the Illusion be able to turn down these heroes? There is 3 heroes now dead on the side of Shooting Stars. That's 4 heroes. Will they be able to find the 5th hero? Fatty, he does get on out of there. But that's a double kill going towards that Luna. And actually, they find that Venomancer in that fountain somehow. I don't know how.
I don't know what that. What? He must have killed a creep. He must have killed a creep, and yeah, the what's it called?
The Necronomicon?
Last resort? Whatever it's called, I don't remember.
Oh, that's that's a little bit unfortunate. It's like, yes, I've got out of there, and then Poison takes over and kills off the creep. And the GGs are called by Shooting Stars and Hive Dwellers. They will be taking Game 1 in this best of 3.
Wow, lots of action around the map, and we saw some interesting plays from both sides, some amazing shackles, some great team engagements from Shooting Stars. I gotta say, they had some good engagements, some good vacuums into toss, but at the end of the day, Hive Dwellers, just too much action around the map, and they really got the ball rolling early on, and they really took the game. I'd just like to say thank you guys very much for watching. We do have another game coming up. This is of course the best of 3, so Hive Dwellers need to take another game in order to win the series. I've been Zarf, I've been joined by Yoshi. Thank you very much to Qboss for sponsoring the tournament, and of course thank you very much to the admins of Defense of the Australians for hosting it. We'll be back very shortly.